One who made a mistake can be forgiven, but one who betrayed will not be forgiven. During the civil war, more than 150 foreign nationals were taken hostage and killed by armed militants of the former members of the Islamic Renaissance Party, because hostage-taking has been used since 1991 as a way to make money for the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party. They took foreign nationals hostage and released them for the money they demanded, or rather sold them. One of the hostages was a Japanese professor, Yutaka Akino. Yutaka Akino was brutally terrorized in the Republic of Tajikistan in 1998, along with his counterparts from Poland, Uruguay and Tajikistan, by the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party in the framework of the United Nations mission. This mission monitored the process of achieving peace and stability in our country. On July 3, 2018, during the International Symposium dedicated to the 20th anniversary of the tragic death of the famous Japanese scientist and political Yutaka Akino, it was reaffirmed that it was the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Revival Party that used him and his colleagues to take up arms killed. Since 1991, we have seen all the brutal ups and downs of the Islamic Renaissance Party terrorist groups. During this period, more than 100 hostages, including diplomats, foreign nationals, journalists, etc., who entered Tajikistan for peace and tranquility, were brutally taken hostage by Islamic Renaissance Party terrorists in order to extort money, were executed. Journalists, diplomats, tourists, all these foreigners traveled for peace, tranquility and security of the Republic of Tajikistan, and these wild beasts killed them. They did not want the Republic of Tajikistan to move forward in peace, tranquility and security. Here I am witnessing the assassination of a certain person, Yutaka Akino, on June 20, 1998, at the hands of these bloodthirsty people who represented the United Nations and returned to the country of Tajikistan for peace and security. We had traveled, and this bloodthirsty group killed him for money. He was thrown into a cave on the Surkhab River so that no trace of him would remain. What can I do? My children were innocent. They were killed in the same forest. Their bodies were not shown to me, so I collected some bones and brought them for burial. We will never forget 1993, 1994, because we have suffered so much during those years by the Islamic Renaissance Party groups that really bothered us. Young soldiers were brought from the well of revelation. Innocent young men were brought in, held hostage for several days in the same village below, and eventually shot. The dead were always abandoned. Frightened and trembling, we went to a group of children, people of the same age, gathered and buried them. They didn't want to bury them. They told them to be eaten by crows because they are not good people. People were not allowed to go to the dead. Dear compatriot, did these vicious revivalists want to repeat the actions of the bloodthirsty Genghis? See how they started the crowd and gathered them together. What could be more terrifying than that? Again, they talk about the Sharia and the believer is the brother of the believer, and pretend to be a human being and a propagandist of Islam. During the years of civil war in the Republic of Tajikistan, representatives of the Islamic Renaissance Party, including our village, came. I witnessed that my sister Mamlakat, one of the members of the Islamic Renaissance Party, Juma Ali Mardon, forcibly forcing my father to take up arms to say that we would kill both of our sons. The poor old man was forcibly loaded into a car and taken to Tokmei. We have a neighboring village, Tokmei, and they forced us to do the same, so that the same girl we had fled to Tokmei, who we said would go to Khorog to get rid of this oppression, did not happen. The frightened old man, a weeping eye, was forced to return her daughter, go from there, and forcibly married to him. That was the use of all these killings and robberies for the religion of Islam and the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Revival Party and its adventurous leaders who pretended to be the protectors of religion. Despite the fact that today of the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party is trying to justify itself and is using all the means of its disposal to justify itself, but the historical facts, the testimony of witness in connection with their activities show that their opinion is false to the public. We are witnesses to this. There was a pause in front of us. People were taken out of the car. Women were taken out of the car. They committed adultery and they were taken away and shot. The same Miremba fired several shots. All the children died. 325 dead. We dug out of the ground. They dug an excavator of 5, 6, 10 people together and buried the top. The old man said that whatever a dog walks or dog is shot, he died in the same place. We went and searched, and from there we found the dead. They have no ears, no nose, the acid burned their hands, and they are ashamed to cut their nails. Here are the horrors we saw by the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party. The hostages and killings of the country's intellectual during the civil war and after the signing of the agreement on the establishment of peace and national accord also became commonplace for the banned form of Islamic Renaissance Party. The main purpose of the Renaissance was to establish these commanders in order to take the people hostage and raise funds for the Renaissance. Without money, we can do nothing against the government and the state. In 1998, there were rumors that Murodov Bobojon Marmarovich, then deputy mayor, had been taken hostage by Islamic rival commanders. I used to work together as a member of the National Reconciliation Commission to say that you are a Renaissance commander, you understand the things, and no one else can do it. Their languages understand only you. Then I went to do the same. Karategin Street is inquiring, said Rahman Hitler is at the top of both Karategin Street. I went to the place where Bobojon Marmarovich was arrested, beaten and tortured in a mosque. His whole body was black and maimed. His hat and clothes were taken away and he had a torn shirt on his body. Then I stopped talking to Rahman Hitler, who said that I was going to shoot a grenade. I said I would be scared of a grenade if I didn't come in front of you. I came to you as a commander. If you want our consent, release this man. He offered me $200,000. He said that if I give him $200,000, he will give it to me and I will go because they have ordered me to bring money along with all my work. We did this for money to execute the reset command. I said I can't afford it. If there is any service, I am ready. He said that he had released 4 people and that I could take responsibility. Then we took them to the gas station at the bottom of Karategin Street and put them in a car. Then we took this person from the mosque, we took the person and gave him. Then we handed it over to Bobojon Marmarovich. Today it's necessary for the people of the country and the world community to understand that it was this terrorist organization that killed more than 100 intellectuals, scientists, journalists and individuals with the instructions and funding of the country's special services known to the Tajik people. The main purpose of these horrific massacres was to destroy the intellectual power of the nation, to destroy secular values in Tajik society, to destabilize society and reestablish the people in the ignorant ideas of the Middle Age. See how the terrorists of the revolution inflicted unforgivable bloody blows on the foundations of science and knowledge of the country, and how many great personalities, intellectuals, were killed. Muhammad Osimi, chairman of the executive committee of the Congregation of Tajiks and president of the World Paivand, president of the Academy of Sciences of the Republic of Tajikistan. Minhaj Gulomov, corresponding member of the Academy of Sciences of the USSR, honored director of the Tajik Soviet Socialist Republic, deputy rector of the Tajik State Medical University, named after Abu Ali ibn Sina. Ishaqi Yusuf Bashirkhanovich, political and public figure, renowned surgeon, rector of the Tajik State Medical University, named after Abu Ali ibn Sina. Saif Rahimzodi Afardi, chairman of the Committee on Television and Radio Broadcasting under the government of the Republic of Tajikistan. Moyonsho Nazarshoyev, the Deputy Prime Minister of the Republic of Tajikistan. Karomatullah Qurbonov, honored artist of Tajikistan. Otakhon Latifi, a well-known journalist, former deputy chairman of the Council of Ministers of the Republic of Tajikistan, correspondent of the newspaper Pravda, chairman of the subcommittee on legal affairs of the Commission on National Reconciliation. Muhyiddin Olimpur, an international journalist and the head of the BBC Persian radio broadcasting in Tajikistan. Karim Yuldashev, state advisor to the President of Tajikistan on foreign policy. Huaydullayev Nurullo Umarovich, the general prosecutor of Tajikistan. Nazriyev Munavarsho Nazrievich, former deputy prime minister of the Republic of Tajikistan. Sangov Saifuddin Ghoibovich, former deputy chairman of Kulob region. Safar Ali Kenjayev, former chairman of the Supreme Council of the Republic of Tajikistan. Khoshbakht Haydarsho, executive secretary of the newspaper Tojikistoni Saveti. Jumakhon Hotami, head of the press center of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the Republic of Tajikistan. Murodullo Sheralizoda, editor-in-chief of Sadoi Mardum, laureate of the Youth Union of Tajikistan. Sitkovsky Sergei Nikolaevich, head of the press center of the Customs Service under the government of the Republic of Tajikistan. Viktor Nikulin, the correspondent of the Russian public television ORT in Tajikistan. Hamid Malikov, head of the Information and Letters Department of Tajikistan TV. Saicho Saidov, the employee of the radio office of Tajikistan. Junaidullo Khalifayev, correspondent of the newspaper Bayraqi Dusti in Bokhtar town. Zainuddin Muhiddinov, chief editor of the Weekly of Nasimi Ayyam. Nafasbek Rahmonov, correspondent of the newspaper Soviet Tajikistan. Iskandar Karim, correspondent of the newspaper New Khatlon. Sharifamo Kishvardukh, correspondent of the newspaper Khatlon. Tawakal Faizullo, chief editor of the Weekly of The Truth of Yovon. Makhsum Olimov, the member of the Writers' Union of Tajikistan. Homijon Hakimov, chief editor of the Weekly Haksuz, Truly. Mahmad Sharif Kholov, writer, journalist, director of the Theatre Youth of Tajikistan. Zikrullo Valiyev, correspondent of the newspaper Khalq Ovozi, The Voice of the People. Mukhtar Baghdiev, correspondent of the Niyat Khobar. Ruziboy Jumayev, the journalist of Weekly Sharaf. Akbar Sharifov, the editor of music programs on TV of Tajikistan. Davlat Ali Rahmon Aliyev, the first founder of the local TV channel Kulab, former head of the press center of the Ministry of Internal Affairs of the Republic of Tajikistan. Nuruddin Habibullayev, sportsman. Nurullo Sharipov, teacher. Obijon Soliev, scientific worker. Odil Muhammad Aliyev, journalist. Alexander Aleynik, military man. Hasanboy Ravshanov, culture officer. Taghay Raupov, engineer. Rajab Ali Alimurodov, driver. Rajab Ali Mahmudov, police officer. Rajab Murod Sanginov, teacher. Malakh Rahimov, sports coach. Mirzo Karim Rahimov, economist. Rahmatullah Olimov, doctor. Rahmatullah Mahmad Aliyev, engineer. Rahmatullah Kholov, translator. Faizullah Rahmonov, theater employer. Rajab Naimov, teacher. Sergei Belasirkovsky, speaker. This list has no end, but we will stop here. At the same time, in order to gain wealth, they took hostages from other segments of society, including employees of the banking sector. In December 1998, by the order of the leader of the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party, the deputy chairman of the National Bank of Tajikistan, Valiyev Navruz Aliyevich, was taken hostage by an armed group in Dushanbe. He was physically and mentally tortured by these enemies of the nation and the world in one of their prisons in Wahdat for 57 days and nights. There was no human value to this band of robbers and looters. They only planned to kill, take hostages and sell them to their relatives. On December 2, 1998, I was the deputy chairman of the National Bank of Tajikistan. In the morning, while going to work, my company car was stopped in front of the Barki Tojik Joint Stock Company by armed groups of the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party, and these militants took me hostage and took to Karan Bahda district. During the 57 days I was held hostage, it should be noted that on January 16, 1999, I was released from captivity. I have suffered a lot physically and mentally from these terrorist groups, from those who are very difficult to call human beings, and all of this has led to the fact that my health has deteriorated and I have been in captivity for a long time. I have been treating myself, and to this day I am still witnessing the consequences of the suffering inflicted on me by the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party. And when I was a hostage, I actually saw these people again. It is very wrong to say human. These are very well prepared terrorist groups trained in special camps. They use all means to achieve their goals, to torture a person both mentally and physically. Armed groups of the Islamic Renaissance Party wanted to take hostages and kill many influential people, lower the international image of Tajikistan, and to present to investors Tajikistan as a volatile country that is not profitable for investment. During this period, they received financial and material assistance from international terrorist organizations to expand their activities and carry out the activities at a higher level, which allowed them to organize the activities in the Republic of Tajikistan for a certain period of time, and many victims, and became terrorist operations of the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party. Just this one Mirzo Rahim Kuzov, who was one of the participants in the killings of scientists and intellectuals, and he was personally accompanied by armed members of the former Islamic Revival Party, Abdullayev Abduqodir Gurezovich, Ashrafov Taghoimurod Sirojevich, and Pirakov Dilovar Shohovich. The Supreme Council of the Republic of Tajikistan honored lawyer Safar Ali Kinjayev was brutally murdered on March 30, 1999 in the street academician Babajan Gafurov in Dushanbe. It was 1999 that the leadership of the Renaissance ordered by head Hoji Halim that we should terrorize Safar Ali Kinjayev. When we came to Tajikistan, he accompanied us with Ashraf of Tagoi Murod. Jamshed said that this is also one of us. When I, Ashraf of Tagoi Murod, Rustam and Surab went to Jamshed's house, there Hoji Halim came and ordered us to kill Safar Ali Kinjayev, kill it as soon as we can. We searched for 5-6 months and found a place where Safar Ali Kinjayev would be killing. The center, which was in the 82nd micro-district, was on the 3rd floor opposite the 82nd market. And when we got there, we followed him a lot. He was coming with a woman. At that time, the woman was going ahead with Safar Ali Kinjayev. The safeguards, the driver were coming. Jamshed told me that I should inform them whether he came or not, and I had the same newspaper in my hand. I had to carry it, and if it didn't come, I wouldn't carry it. Jamshed was standing below. Rustam and Ashrapov were standing inside the same entrance. When Safar Ali Kinjayev came, I signaled that he was coming and I had to leave the area. I was expelled from the area. They killed Safar Ali Kinjayev there. Then there they killed Safar Ali Kinjayev with his safeguards and his driver. When we killed Safar Ali Kinjayev, we were ordered by the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party leadership, especially Hoji Halim, to leave Tajikistan, and we flew to Russia. In 1995, by the invitation of Jumabek Salomov, an Islamic Renaissance Party activist, under the nickname of Khalid, I traveled by water from Turkmenistan to the Islamic Republic of Iran, the city of Mazandaran, and from where went to Qom a few days later. And in Qom, we received primary religious education for 4 months. Then we came to the Mazandaran forest with about 150 people for sabotage training. And during 4 months of sabotage military training there, in February 1996, Mentor Nuri came to us with Khalid and met us and stressed that we need to better learn the doctrine of sabotage because it is necessary to restore the Islamic government in Tajikistan. We were trained there to shoot all kinds of firearms. 4 months later, I returned to Qom, where I studied for another year. In 1997, I returned to Tajikistan. In 1998, I joined the Pirakov Dilovar group. In 1998, I joined Pirakov Dilovar Shohovich, nicknamed Jamshed, and Abdullayev Abduqadir Gurezovich, nicknamed Rustam Noraki, and again Rustam Dushanbegi and I, 4 men on March 30, 1999, in the 82nd district in his apartment building on the instructions of Hoji Halim, along with the driver Safar Ali Kinjayev, and 2 with $2,000 for each. His bodyguard was killed in his apartment building. Have the Renaissance people who today speak about the values of democracy and human rights have forgotten their barbaric and inhuman actions during the year of the Civil War? Any party, any movement that destabilizes a peaceful and secure state must be called a party of a movement or a group of the same party, the same movement, the same terrorist fascist group, Abul Qasim Firdavsi said. Just this one was these rivals who acted in the pursuit of their own filthy interests. I envy their foreign masters who have long been looking to Central Asia and peaceful, prosperous countries such as Tajikistan were greedy, advised and disturbed this state. Many people were destroyed, many misguided people believing in their ostentatious slogans rushed to the squares and left them alone, fled to their foreign masters, and these people were confused and destroyed by their own ignorance, and their motto is the same religion. It is as if they are fighting for religion, for purity, for Islam, for the truth. That is why I have the same grief as an ordinary citizen of Tajikistan who lived in this troubled country during those turbulent years. All these events, which did not occur on the imagination of the people, took place here. I know that the main factor of this instability, murder, looting and destruction of this country by the same of the Islamic Renaissance Party had prepared themselves. And then the Soviet Union disintegrated, the Soviet system collapsed, and before this new land came to power, they became independent and began their own terrorist operations. So I think that because this party is a terrorist party, because this party went the way of fascism, the way of massacre, it should be tried in the highest court. The same people who are today the foreign masses have fled, they must be punished at the Renaissances, just as in 1945, after the end of the World War II, the same fascists who destroyed 6 worlds, many people were killed and tried in Nuremberg. They, like them, should be punished in international courts. The punishment should be determined. The party's investors are all foreign investors who have taken refuge in some countries under the use of a friend, but as an ordinary citizen of the country, I want to say that Islam is the truth, that we, the people of Tajikistan, are Muslims. We believe in one God. All mosques and schools in Tajikistan are open, but the Quran, the religion of God, has no party. The party that came with political motives and destabilized a safe and peaceful country, and it's still pursuing the same dirty intentions, here should be allowed to enter this paradise again. Leader of the former Islamic Renaissance Party, Muhyiddin Kabiri, and the party's military commissioner, Mirza Rahim Karimovich, nicknamed Shonaimi Karim, have pleaded not guilty today and are hiding their allegiance to the Islamic Republic of Iran. However, the other leader of the organization, Amonbekov Nemat Sulaimonbekovich, born in 1971, a native of Tangi village, rural community of Suchon, Shurnon district, Badakhshan region, is currently the head of the terrorist organization's mission in the Islamic Republic of Iran. This traitor lives in the capital of Iran, always has the help and support of the special services of this country. Nemat Amonbekov, on the instructions of Muhyiddin Kabiri and Mirza Rahim Kuzov, receives members of the former terrorist extremist organization Islamic Renaissance Party in the territory of the country. Together with the special services of the Islamic Republic of Iran, directs them to military schools, the process of their preparation for action, destruction, terrorist control in Tajikistan. The terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party, under the guidance and funding of some interested groups and countries, continues to carry out subversive and hostile activities against the national and state interests of Tajikistan. Under the guidance of special services, donors, leaders, and fugitive members of the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party has created new ways to finance terrorist activities to make it more difficult for law enforcement agencies to detect and prevent. They use the allocated funds to buy marketable goods and construction materials from third countries and import them to Tajikistan. The profits of this business will be used to support terrorist activities, provide assistance to relatives and convicted criminal members of the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party. From the investigation of the issue and the identities of those involved in this financial transaction shows that the main purpose of the terrorist organization and its foreign backers is to maintain the ideology and the ideas of the extremist movement, are the remaining followers of the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party within the country. To this end, one of the former Islamic Renaissance Party's religious leaders, Boboyev Abdusator, nicknamed Eshoni Sator, born in 1986, a native of Bose district in Khatlon region, based in Warsaw, Poland, is involved in trade and money transfers. Sohib Nazarov Bihishti Shozikriyoyevich, born in 1982, a native of Bose district, a graduate of the Jamiatul Mustafa Al-Alamiya University in Qom, a resident of Mashhad, Iran, was involved in the financing of terrorism. I traveled to Islamic Republic of Iran through the Islamic Renaissance Party to continue my education. As a member of the Islamic Renaissance Party, I was admitted to Jamaat al-Mustafa al-Alamiya University. I continued my education there from 2003 to 2013. In 2013, I returned to Tajikistan from the Islamic Republic of Iran, and in 2014, I started my business with Bihishti Soib Nazarov, who also studied at Jamiat al-Mustafa University. Bihishti Soib Nazarov used to send goods and products from Turkey and Iran, and we used to sell them among entrepreneurs in the Republic of Tajikistan. About the beginning of May 2020, Bihishti Soib Nazarov called me to give $2,500 to his brother Muhammad Soib Nazarov. Muhammad Soib Nazarov called me to get the money, and we met outside the Istiqlal restaurant, and I gave $2,500 to Muhammad Soib Nazarov. This was one of the funds given to Bihishti Soib Nazarov by Muhyiddin Kabiri and Abdusator Boboyev. They regularly shipped their luggage with Bihishti Soib Nazarov, and we sold it to businesses. Bihishti would be given to those who said give them money. The $2,500 I delivered to Muhammad Soib Nazarov was on behalf of Bihishti Soib Nazarov. My brother Soib Nazarov Bihishti Shozi Kriyoyevich called me and said that Muhyiddin Kabiri and Boboyev Abdusator, brother of Bihishti's wife, had told Bihishti that they had received some money from Iranian special services and would give part of it to Bihishti to buy construction materials and send to Tajikistan and sell them here and use the money to revive the activity. Bihishti told me to take $2,500 from Bahreddin Qurbanov, who also studied at the Imam Humayni Madrasa in Qum, and give $500 to myself and another $2,000 to Asrar. Asrar is the son of Zubaydullah Rozi, an Islamic Renaissance Party member who is currently in prison. Asrar takes the money and distributes it to the revivalists. Then I phoned Bahreddin and told him that I should take $2,500 from him on behalf of Paradise. He said he would call Bihishti once to confirm and then call me. After confirmation, he told me to be ready to take the money. Then we coordinated, went to the Sarboda restaurant and took $2,500 from him, $500 for myself and $2,000 for Asrar. Then Bihishti sent me the secret phone number via email. I called Asrar once, whose phone was switched off. The next day I called Asrar, arranged, met in the 46th precinct and gave him $2,000. I told him that you would distribute the same money to the rivalists, and if there was any misunderstanding, Bihishti would explain it to you over the phone. It was about the end of April when my brother Islamiddin, who was in Poland, called me and said that someone would bring you a deposit and take it. It was early May when Muhammadi called me and we met in neighborhood 46 near the Sadat building, and I received $2,000 from Muhammadi. Then I went to Giprozem and gave $200 to Ismail and $1,000 to Rabboni. 2 or 3 days later, I delivered $400 to Said Muhammad. The detained members of organized criminal group imported products into the Republic of Tajikistan from Iran or Turkey and sold them through intermediaries using commercial companies such as LLC Abdullah Barot, LLC Bahori Orzu, LLC Nakin Corporation, and LLC Oliha 91, and did not include their names in any documents in order to not to be considered by law enforcement agencies. The investigation revealed that most of those detained on suspicion of financing terrorism were linked to special services. In general, the funds allocated by the special services of the former Islamic Renaissance parties TCE for the spread of terrorism and extremism in Tajikistan over the past year, a total of $64,201 equivalent to 661,270 somoni. 200 euros equivalent to 2,470 somoni, 81,000 Russian rubles equivalent to 11,907 somoni, and 4,572,542 somoni for the spread of terrorism. Extremism is funded in Tajikistan, including funding for EOM task members, 42,700 somoni, $64,201 US, 200 euros and 81,000 Russian rubles. Confiscated funds 199,670 somoni and 1,131 US. Seizure of goods and products 680,150 somoni. Smuggling of goods and products 2,166,260 somoni. Amount of losses determined due to tax and customs duties 12,251,250 somoni. Tax 11,251,247 somoni and customs duty 1,003,000 somoni. Recovery of funds 1,555,618 somoni. Symbolically, number 67, 555,618 somoni, and symbolically, number 65, 1 million somoni. Previous corporate tax debts, 7,554,500 somoni. During the entire period of the terrorist extremist organization of the former Islamic Renaissance Party, its leaders were able to acquire large assets at the expense of funds allocated for the terrorist activities by foreign owners. What is the secure of this wealth? Of course, from the same murder, hostage-taking and sale of hostages, as well as the expense of the foreign masters. Again, this is a good opportunity to address my glorious people and to tell you about the crimes of the terrorist party again that I saw with my own eyes, which was once instructed by the Iranian leadership to the Islamic Renaissance Party that you should have a state treasure everywhere, in every region, in every place. You have to have a house so that your commanders and leaders should always have a lot of money and property. Therefore, Khori Vasid ordered the people to go and tell the commanders that they should use all means to stop the rich people and the rich people from wherever they come, even if it is the property of the state in the form of usurpation and theft. One of the ways to get money was take a hostage who was government employer or a rich man, a businessman or a wealthy man, took hostage or went and beheaded him, put pressure on him and ordered so much money, even money that was unthinkable at the time, up to $40,000-$50,000 and $100,000 for them, so much so that we destroy the number of the children. They did the same thing to the same threats, and the commanders were commanded to leave their representatives in each region so that they could control these things. Among them were Rahman Hitler, a Sean Tall, then Jacob, nicknamed Jinjak, and now there are many people, all of whom we will not name in this short time. They were commanded and committed this crime which does not fit into any corner of the law of God and the apostle. For example, a person might ask, how do you know that you are doing this? A clear example of the wealth of the Renaissance terrorist leaders who all owned several houses and markets, for example, big shops, cars, factories, and even factories, was all from the same large sums of money taken from the people. And the leaders they appointed should have collected and brought money and goods in each region and put them at the disposal of the leaders of this terrorist party. The leaders of this terrorist organization, even in the context of Europe, have not stopped betraying and selling the interests of the state and nation. In early 2016, Muhyiddin Kabiri received $800,000 from the special services of the Islamic Republic of Iran, promising to restore the activities of the former terrorist extremist organization of the Islamic Renaissance Party abroad. The money was transferred to his nephew Kabirzodeh Imam Ali Safar, who had a bank account in Turkey. According to bank documents, the money was then transferred to the account of UAB Distata, which was opened in one of the banks of the Republic of Lithuania, Šiaulių Banks AB. This amount was used periodically by Muhyiddin Kabiri and his family. On September 29, 2017, Muhyiddin Kabiri secretly expanded his business from other Renaissance colleagues and established a processing company, LLC CMD, in Warsaw in the name of his nephew Kabirzodeh Imam Ali Safar and Kabirova Bibi Ruqya Safarovna. The company is registered under the number 3684425572 at the following address: Warsaw, Slomna Street, number 38, 1205 075. Kabirzoda Imam Ali Safar also has a bank account number 761160220000032272818 in the Millennium Bank of Poland, through which all banking operations carried out by the terrorists of the Renaissance Muhyiddin Kabiri are carried out. The well-founded views of witnesses to the crimes of the leaders and members of this corrupt party have clearly revealed to us the vague details of the history of this party. Life itself showed and proved that their intentions were bad. The intentions were not prosperous, they were hateful, malicious, and God struck them. And today there is no other way. They just stand there and throw stones at us, but they say that the dog is barking, but the caravan of minds is moving. Today's young people who did not see those terrible days were children. Today their parents should tell them about those terrible days, explain to them that they know what sufferings and horrors we have achieved in these good days. All these horrors, all these catastrophes were followed by this Islamic Renaissance party. The whole world already knows these. Dear brothers, dear people of Tajikistan, we have seen a case when the account was lost. Believe me when he says that. We have all seen hunger, suffering and days. I openly say that the people of Tajikistan do not listen to them with all their hearts, and the deeds and actions that they have done and misled the people, and through the people who say that foreign farmers have already learned it, they have seen and tasted it in life. More than 150,000 Tajik people, parents and brothers died. How many mothers have become orphans? How many hardships and dark days have fallen in Tajik nation? Kabiri, do your own thing with your family who are abroad, and don't deal with the people of Tajikistan. You live abroad, you and your people came to our motherland to donate from your village to the countryside. Charity and dust that shed the blood of hatred everywhere. Today you are shouting at the people, inciting them and inciting sedition. No other people, no other person in Tajikistan will listen to you, and he will not hear. He doesn't even want to hear it. Let's tell Horukh to go to Uzbekistan, where to go at 2 o'clock in the morning and at 3 o'clock in the morning without any obstacles. I would like to say to the glorious people of Tajikistan, I would like to inform you again, dear brothers, fathers, mothers, sisters, never be deceived by these poets and provocators. Love and build this beautiful motherland. Let's be together. Calmness is the best gift. That's why we, the people of Tajikistan, did not accept your number and your party at that time. We still do not accept and will not have. Today it's clear that the difference between the former extremist terrorist organization of the Islamic Renaissance Party and other religious organizations is that if others work for a clear purpose, the evil rivalists want to mislead the people by distinguishing their original plans and intentions. But the strong evidence, not only for the Tajik people but for the entire modern world, determines that the former extremist terrorist organization of the Islamic rival party really is, and what inhuman acts it has committed against the citizens of Tajikistan. In 1996, Islamic Renaissance Party representatives came and took my sister hostage from our house. It was about August and it was brutally murdered. The reason is that when you serve in the state army, the same soldier gives you a slice of bread, a cup of milk, serves you, washes your clothes. You said you served them and they took you to the bridge in Ghulamon village without any reason and killed you brutally. We did not even give dead body. After a while, the birds and the animals ate the flesh and skin, and we found the bones and wrapped them in a shroud in our village. In other districts and other villages, the same crimes were committed. When we heard and understood that the same group of Zubayd was the commander from the village of Gardanga, they brought the same Islamic Renaissance Party and killed my sister without any guilt, without any grounds, on the bridge over the village of Ghulamon. The atrocities they committed are unbearable, even unimaginable.
ای مردمی
A glorious people of Tajikistan, have you forgotten that hard days of the 90s? Hours passed even at night for a loaf of bread. The markets were empty. The eyes of the hungry people were completely despairing of the future. The same was said of the years. So let's not forget the events. Always remember, once again, this terrorist extremist party wants to disrupt the security, peace, progress and development of this blessed country with the leaders of its foreign powers. Therefore, I once again argue that we should not lose our political wisdom. We must not lose political vigilance. Therefore, the timely banning of the terrorist extremist organization of the Islamic Rival Party was an important step in strengthening the stability and security of the country, preventing this organization and this plan and this conspiracy, which was directly controlled from abroad, was a national salvation for us. Under the grace of God and the wise policy of the state allowed the Tajik nation to get rid of such a mercenary criminal group and such a conspiracy of the century, and the peaceful life of the people was preserved. The purpose of the party's desire to ban extremist terrorist Islamic Renaissance Party in Tajikistan today under the leadership of Kabiri is only to destabilize the situation in the Republic of Tajikistan. Why? The question is why? Because these are foreign farmers, these foreign masters who want to complicate the situation in Central Asia in any way they can and feel their coffers and their own foreign masters at the expense of complicating the situation and making people fight. For Kabri and his supporters and for his terrorist extremist party, the state has provided an opportunity since 1997. They entered parliament. They have been members of the parliament of Tajikistan for more than 10 years. If they took steps to rebuild this country, they could. But they did not. They just filled their pockets. They only beat the misguided people. Kabiri, his allies, their followers, the henchmen are patriotic only in speech. What do they want? Why are they standing outside and throwing stones? I ask the people of Tajikistan not to leave the light and go to the darkness. Given the terrorist and treacherous nature and illegal status of the Rebirth Party, all dear citizens of our country are asked to speak, read, write online materials, and in general in any dealings with this topic, with literature, with members, or with the activities of this group, it should be borne in mind that it is an illegal terrorist organization, and from a legal point of view, any connection with it is an illegal act, a concession with extremism and terrorism. In general, in any dealings with this topic, with the literature, with members, or with the activities of this group, it should be borne in mind that it is an illegal terrorist organization, and from a legal point of view, any connection with it in illegal act and a connection with extremism and terrorism. Therefore, it is important for every citizen to protect himself, his children, and others from this danger. We also appeal to parents, brothers and sisters and all the honorable people of Tajikistan to never allow their children to study in religious schools of Islamic countries, especially the Islamic Republic of Iran, to adhere to extremist ideas. In this country, your children have fallen into the trap of the deception of the leaders and members of the former terrorist extremist organization of the Islamic Renaissance Party. Educated in the framework of extremist and terrorist thinking and in the shared ideology, they eventually join extremist and terrorist groups and above all betray their parents, nation and state. Once again, dear viewers, dear parents, we ask you not to deliberately burn the lives of your children and not to hand them over to the enemies of the homeland and the nation. I have another appeal to the glorious people of Tajikistan. When I had the opportunity to see abroad as an old man, a man who was involved in all these events, I have experienced all these things. I am a human being, which I heard, I cannot explain. That's what I saw. I would like to warn the glorious people of Tajikistan to control your children. Do not go to Islamic Renaissance Party, study or work. They take our children out of religion. In addition to sectarianism, they are trained as terrorists and deceived by money. They fight and do other things. Gradually, the children will be able to get out of the way and eventually commit a crime. Either they are killed or they go to prison for life. Their wives and children are homeless. So as a brother, I beg you to try not to let your children go to Islamic Renaissance Party. What I was most stressed in this point, that children should not be allowed to go to school, because everyone who goes to the Islamic Republic of Iran, whether he is a revivalist or a non-revolutionary, goes to those special schools set up for Tajiks. When they go, the leaders of all those places themselves from the same security of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and they always try to gradually attract the children of Tajiks who go there to the Shia religion by any means, for example by giving money, by other means of propaganda. If a child sees that he has an email, his financial situation will improve, and for example he will be provided with conditions. Those who do not do well will be expelled from school by any means. Work to get in trouble with a guy, they are forced to do the same. Then when they converted to Shia religion, they are forced to tell you that for the sake of God, for the sake of imams and other people, when you go to Tajikistan, you should publish the same shit religion, so that we can provide an example for the coming of the imam, of the time prepare for his coming. Now the fear of the lost, who cannot enjoy the blessings of Tajikistan's independence, the achievements of Tajikistan, the clear skies and the bright sun of our beloved Tajikistan, and fill their hearts with the pride of alienation and their relatives, especially their parents, which is the priceless gift to every individual, is left under a reign of shame. Their actions will never be forgotten.